Hello guys, back with another one on Chuck D Football TV. Premier League is officially back. The Premier League is officially back. What can I say? Well, to be honest, the Premier League commenced yesterday, with the first game being Liverpool against Bournemouth, with Liverpool winning that game 4-2 at Anfield. It was a very action-packed game yesterday, but why I say it's officially back is because there were more games today, right? There were more competitive games today, and I will be going over those games with you guys, so just keep it locked. And before the video starts, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We are building this channel together, so you guys do me a favor and please like this video so that people can get the notifications when I release the videos and all that stuff. So let's start with the first game today, which I actually watched. This game, it was Aston Villa Newcastle. How would I describe that game? I'll describe it as it was interesting but very lethargic game. Aston Villa were playing like they all just finished eating big bowls of fufu, and they were too heavy to move because they just kept on tripping over the ball, and it was like as if they didn't they were playing like as if they didn't even have a preseason, but again, it's the first game, so you can't really hold them to it. The fact of the matter is that they didn't lose the game. The game ended in a draw, 0-0 draw. Newcastle they dominated more. They had more of the chances. They dominated the first half. They dominated the second half. And funny enough, Aston Villa as well, they had certain chances to win the game or take the lead. Football is a very funny sport. One team can dominate another team for like 85 minutes out of 90 minutes, and it's the team that is being dominated that will now win the game. What haven't we seen in this game? That is why it's called the beautiful game, because there are different twists and turns. Furthermore, Newcastle dominated the game. To be fair, Newcastle dominated the game. They were better defensively. They were better in midfield. They were better going forward. They started with Newcastle in their front line. It was Elanga. Who was he again? It was Elanga, Gordon, and the other guy. I don't want to start pressing laptop. One thing that picked up in the game was that Newcastle need a striker. They need a striker. Newcastle really need a striker. The omission of Alexander Isak is really affecting them, and they can't go forward like this. Gordon played as a striker. He was incredible. He even cost a red card because Gordon is quick. If you've ever watched him play, he's really rapid, he's skillful, very good player, but you can tell that his preferred position, and the position he excels in the most, is at that left wing, where he'll be cutting in, into the right, so that's his preferred wing, and that is what we've known him to play for Newcastle. Elanga was decent. He was decent. He didn't really do much, to be fair. Towards the beginning of the game, he had a chance to score, but he didn't really wrap his leg around that ball properly. So he had a decent game. If I were to rate his game today over 10, I would give it a 4.6 over 10. He didn't really do anything crazy. Tonali had a good game. He had a very good game today in that midfield. Bruno Guimaraes, dude always has a good game regardless. If I were to rate his performance today, I'll give it like a 7/10. But it was the defenders that really performed well today. Just pardon me, let me check. The squad. Yeah, I just want to check the lineup. Right. So the people that stood out for me for Newcastle today were Shaw. Shaw had a very good game today. Livramento was incredible today. Dan Burn had a very good game today. Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Gordon. Those were like the key guys for Newcastle today that really, had a good game. For Aston Villa, they were, like I said, they were very lethargic. Ezri Konsa had a very good game until he got a red card. That was like a clear red card. Like I was even surprised that I was complaining. Watkins had a decent game. Onana had a decent game as well, but that game ended 0-0. I don't want to harbor too much on that game. Then Brighton Fulham was another. It was the second game of today, and that game ended in a 1-1. It ended in a 1-1 draw. O'Reilly scored a pen in the 55th minute for Brighton, and Muniz scored an equalizer in the 90th plus 7 minutes. A funny thing is he came in as a sub, and he ended up equalizing for Fulham. Iwobi too had a very good game today. Calvin Bassey had a very decent game today. So that game ended 1-1. Sunderland West Ham was a very surprising game. It was a very, 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 very surprising game. For them to beat for Sunderland to beat West Ham 3-0. That's and Sunderland, they've been out of the they've been out of the Premier League for I think it was 8 years. I think they've been for 8 seasons. If I'm not mistaken, that's right. If I'm not mistaken, that's how long they've been out of the Premier League. Don't quote me on that. I heard that in the commentary. But they've been out of the Premier League for a very long time, and it's glad to see them back. And they came in with the whirlwind, unleashed it against West Ham. They had no remorse for West Ham, and dismantled West Ham with a 3-goal win. The first goal was Mayenda in the 61st minute. The second goal was by Ballard in the 73rd minute, and the third goal was by Isidore in the 90th plus 2 minutes. They completely destroyed West Ham, and that is very good for Sunderland. That would give them a different level of confidence going into their next game. So big up to Sunderland for that. The next game we'll talk about is the Tottenham versus Burnley game. Destroyed Burnley 3-0. That game, Tottenham are looking like they're looking serious. Tottenham are looking serious. I'm not even going to lie. I know they bottled the UEFA Super Cup against PSG, but we all know that they dominated PSG for majority of the game. They just became Spursy around the 85th minute, and lost the game. But Tottenham are looking good. That purchase of Kudus is looking like a serious player. That guy is an incredible baller, and he's going to be very pivotal for Tottenham this season. And now with the news that I'm hearing that Eze wants to he wants to move to Tottenham. He wants to go to Tottenham. I think what Eze and somebody else. There was one other person ahead that might move to Tottenham. But I know the Eze one, according to Fabrizio, he's saying that he wants to make a move to Tottenham. Initially it was Arsenal, but it's like Arsenal are dragging their feet, and it's 2 weeks to the about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks into the closing of the transfer window. So dude wants to make that move to a big team. He wants to play Champions League. It's a World Cup year next year, so I'm sure he wants to play for a big team so that he can make it into the English squad. Whether he moves to Tottenham or not, Eze would make that England squad. Let's be honest. But not to take away from Tottenham. Tottenham had an incredible game. Richarlison, I hope he's caught a new lease of life, and this is not just a one-off, because he was good against PSG, and he was even better today. He scored some bangers today, 2 serious goals that are in content. Like this, the beginning of this Premier League, the type of goals that has been coming out of the woodwork, the woodworks is crazy. Semenyo scored an incredible goal yesterday, running from defense to score a goal against Liverpool, and today Richarlison scoring 2 bangers. And if this is how the Premier League is going to be going, I'm here for it. My nose, I don't know why I'm catching a cold. Anyways, see the things I have to go through for you guys. Even with me, I'll be running nose. I'm here bringing you the cocoa, bringing you the football news. And you guys don't want to like my videos. You don't want to subscribe. God will judge you. But yeah, Tottenham battered Burnley, and Scott Parker, who is the Burnley coach, right? Yeah, I think it's Scott Parker. He has a lot to do. Because it seems that every time Burnley gets into the Prem, then relegates. I think this is not the first time they're relegated from the Prem, and now they're back again. So you definitely don't want to start the Prem like this. Your first at least 10 games in the Prem can decide your whole year. Your first 10 games can decide your whole, whether you would survive or you would relegate. So your early games in the Prem, those games that you win early on can be the games to come back and save you when you're in trouble. So you definitely don't want to be losing like this by incredible margins like this. So big ups Tottenham. They did what they had to do. They finished their food. And the final game for today was Wolverhampton versus Manchester City. Manchester City are not playing, no. They're not joking. With the way they played today, I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights. I was watching the Barcelona game, which I would also do a video on that. Manchester City are looking serious. Haaland has started again. He scored 2 goals today. Tijani Reinders was incredible today. Czechie scored he scored a goal today, very good goal. But Haaland is looking rejuvenated. He's looking serious. City are looking like contenders this season. But again, it's the first game of the season. It's two. You can't just base the whole season off just one game. But from what I see, City are looking pretty serious. They're looking pretty serious this season. So yes, that's the roundup on the games. Just a little roundup on the games that took place today. There'll be some other games tomorrow. Chelsea. What games are tomorrow? Chelsea Crystal Palace tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That's a very good big game as well. Nottingham Forest Brentford, big game. And Manchester United Arsenal. I think that is the biggest game of the weekend. That is the game everyone is looking forward to, including me. And I'll be doing a video on that game as well, whether it's a pre-match video or a post-match video, whichever one I decide. But until then, just keep it locked here, keep it locked on this channel. Kindly subscribe so you can get the notifications when I release videos. It's going to be a very active Premier League season, an active Bundesliga season, an active La Liga season, and I'll be reporting on a lot of things. Something about this channel is I don't just report on only Premier League games. I mix it up. It could be Premier League, it could be Bundesliga, it could be La Liga, whatever. We love this game, so why stick to one league? So double back, man. I'm here for you. I'll do my best to release these videos. All you have to do is just like. All you have to do is just subscribe. All you have to do is just leave a comment in the comment section if you feel like you want me to know something or you want to debate about something. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.